Wheeler Field, Lieutenant Philip Rasmussen woke to the sound of bombs, jumped out of bed, strapped on a .45 caliber pistol over his purple pajamas, ran to find a working Curtiss P-36 Hawk, just like the plane you saw take off a moment ago. Was joined by 3 more P-36 pilots and took off to engage the attacking Japanese. Pilots Rasmussen, Lewis Sanders, Harry Brown, Gordon Sterling, and Mike Moore managed to shoot down a few of the Japanese Zeros, Vals, and Gates, but the enemy numbers were overwhelming. 402 U.S. planes were on the ground at the beginning of this surprise attack. 188 were destroyed immediately, 159 damaged, and 155 were left on the ground. Kenneth Taylor and George Welch were just returning from an all-night dinner, dance, and poker party. These 2 brave pilots, still in formal dress, raced to a couple of P-40 Warhawks, got them fueled and armed, took off and quickly found themselves in the middle of a very real battle. These 2 pilots caught up with the Japanese close to Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field and engaged the Japanese with .30 caliber ammunition. Taylor and Welch quickly ran out of ammo, landed at Wheeler Field near the center of the island, refueled, reloaded with .30 and .50 caliber ammo, and took off to fight again. These 2 are credited with downing a total of 6 Japanese warplanes before their own Curtiss P-40 Warhawks were disabled. Both pilots received a Distinguished Service Cross for their actions that infamous day. Yes, you are there. This is December 7th, 1941, the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. They called it Tora, Tora, Tora. The first wave of 189 Japanese Zeros, Vals, and Gates hammered Oahu, Pearl Harbor, Hickam Field, all over the island for about an hour. Then came the second wave, 171 airplanes to continue the strafing, bombing, and the dropping of torpedoes for another hour. A total of 360 Japanese enemy warplanes. As the attack proceeded at Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field, the devastation was awesome. On the eastern edge of Ford Island, in the center of the harbor, 8 battleships lay at berth. The Arizona, Nevada, California, Maryland, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and the Tennessee. The Japanese hit first with Kate torpedo bombers, just like you see in front of you coming in from the right now. The initial wave hit the Oklahoma, California, Nevada, West Virginia, and a target ship to Utah. These Kates were equipped with special shallow-running torpedoes. Look at those torpedoes. They were designed specifically for the attack on Pearl Harbor. You see, the shallow waters at Pearl Harbor would not allow the use of normal deep-running torpedoes. Folks, this took away any opportunity the Japanese could say that this was a target of opportunity. This was indeed a very well-planned attack. Then came the Val dive bombers, armed with 1,700-pound armor-busting projectiles, made for 16-inch battleship guns, but converted to aerial bombs. These planes dived down on the Nevada and Arizona. Anti-aircraft fire veered the Vals away from Nevada on the first wave, but the Arizona wasn't that lucky. A bomb from a Kate bomber stabbed the Arizona through her forward magazine and exploded, touching off more than 1,000,000 pounds of gunpowder. A sailor on the Nevada watched the Arizona jump up at least 15 to 20 feet in the water and break into 2, forever entrapping 1,200 American servicemen in an underwater tube. The ship sank in less than 3 minutes. That underwater tube remains to this day at the bottom of Pearl Harbor, mute testimony to this surprise attack by the Japanese. We've taken you back to that fateful morning, 7:55 a.m., December 7th, 1941. Tora, Tora, Tora. Listen to the roar of the engine, the sound of the air raid sirens, and the gunfire. And you can just imagine what it must have been like if you were a soldier or a sailor or an airman that fateful morning. The Neros doing their strafing runs, the Kate torpedo bombers dropping those special shallow-running torpedoes. Yes, this is Tora, Tora, Tora. To your left, the P-36 replica on the tail of the Japanese Zero, simulating those few pilots that were able to get into the air. Yes, this is Tora, 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 and you are there. Marine Corps Air Station Iwa, PFC Melvin Thompson was on guard duty when 9 Zeros attacked the base. Thompson stepped out of his guard shack, drew his .45 caliber pistol, and began firing on the Japanese Zeros. One of the Japanese pilots, Yoshio Shiga, saw Thompson firing at him, and years later, Shiga remembered Thompson's tenacity and fighting spirit, describing the lone Marine as the bravest American I have ever seen. And you're seeing a simulation of that bravery in front of you right now. The P-36 hot on the tail of the Japanese Zero, smoking. If you see the smoke coming out of the engine, simulating the few kills that our pilots were able to do that fateful morning of December 7th. Look at the Kate torpedo bombers coming in, dropping those torpedoes. And you can just imagine what it must have been like. All over the island, soldiers were bringing their weapons to bear in the fight. Anything that they could get working in short order. The .45 caliber pistols, Springfield rifles, 30 caliber and 50 caliber belt-fed machine guns, bringing down numerous marauding Japanese Zeros, Vals, and Kates. But they caught us completely by surprise with 386 fighters and bombers, 189 in the first wave, 171 in the second wave. Almost 2 hours of solid attack. Yes, this is it. Tora, Tora, Tora. At Bellows Field on the northeast coast of the island, more U.S. Army Air Corps pilots were racing to their P-40s. Just then, Japanese Zeros appeared and started strafing runs. One P-40 pilot was killed just as he stepped into his cockpit. 2 other P-40s were down just as they got off the ground. You can just imagine what that must have been like. That flight of 16 B-17s coming from the mainland arrive and are immediately attacked by the marauding Japanese Zeros. In the confusion, the B-17s were shot at by friend and foe, and the frightened crews landed wherever they could, one in a pineapple field not far from Hickam Field. Yes, the B-17s, unarmed, just thinking the pilots and crew, just thinking they were ferrying the airplanes over here for armament in future use. They had no idea what was headed their way that fateful morning. Tora, Tora, Tora was the call. The Japanese Zeros attacking Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field. The B-36, once again, all hot on the tail of a Japanese Zero. High overhead, the Zeros doing strafing runs. That's the way it was like. One of the B-17 pilots, a Major Landon, trying to land, said what a hell of a way to enter a war. Out of gas, unarmed, and no place to land. 8 of the B-17s actually made it to Hickam Field.